It's that time again. It's time for another Saturday night special where we talk about everything rockhounding related. So this past week, all right, I'm setting up a new display case upstairs in my kind of office work area. And, I was doing the wiring to get the lights in, and I think it's going to look good when it's fully done. And I kind of have some bigger projects this winter, like cataloging my entire collection. And I started to really think about the process in which we go through as rockhounds and some of the problems and pitfalls that I see other people having. And I think those pitfalls are buckets, piles, and future projects. So here's a mini rant. I do not like people acting like vultures when people pass away. And I see it far too often in the rockhounding world, and it makes me puke into my mouth a little bit when I see it. I find it to be so disgusting and so distasteful. And it usually happens like this. I see a post, I see something, hey, so-and-so passed away, just kind of letting everybody know. And people are like, oh my God, what happened? What's happening to their rocks? Can I get their rocks? What about their saw? What about this? What about these things? I want it. And I would rather dig a pit. I'd rather go throw all my rocks into the river on my last day than think about people acting like vultures like that. It's a very bad look. And I think part of it is not coming up with what you want done with these things that we gather. And it's also kind of a bummer to remove the importance of it through not appreciating your own collection. So it's kind of a twofold thing. There's the people that act like turkey vultures, circling a carcass waiting for their prize, and people not appreciating all of the work that you did in the gathering of this material. I think people that are into lapidary learn real quick what quality material is, because, if something has big cracks in it and stuff, like, it's not going to polish well. You learn pretty quickly what makes good material, right? People that are not so much into lapidary or into lapidary to a lesser degree, maybe are into they never get beyond the acquiring phase, are generally the people that end up with piles of rock sinking back into the earth in their backyard and hundreds of buckets of unlabeled material. And I think that's a poor way to do it. This kind of like living in the future. Like, I will get this stuff today and then eventually get to it. And more often than not, I see that people don't ever get to it, and people pass away, leaving behind 150 5-gallon buckets of rock that maybe they hadn't seen the bottom of in 20 years, 30 years, What's the point? I'm reminded of somebody I lived near once, and they had kind of like this little back pasture, right? Maybe like 2-acre pasture or whatever. And it was filled with lawnmowers. Filled. Like 80, 100 or so broken lawnmowers. And you talk to the guy and he'd be like, oh, he's going to get them all up and running and, sell them. And it's going to be his future business when he retires. And it's living in the future. He also had zero functioning lawnmowers. 80 broken lawnmowers, no functioning lawnmowers. And it was always the what if. Oh, hey, he saw a garage sale, bought a lawnmower. Now I know one person might say, well, what does it matter? If a guy wants to have 80 lawnmowers, he can have 80 lawnmowers. I just don't think you're not appreciating what you have. You're not appreciating your own time when you're living in the future like that. One thing I've started to learn to do with my own collecting is not over collect. Not over collect. because at the rate in which we go rockhounding here on the YouTube channel, I have to be very careful to curate the collection and cull off the stuff that I don't want and only have the good things. And importantly, label it. So I'm going to show you some stuff here. And, you know, if you didn't know anything about it, like if you went to a garage sale and you saw this, you might be like, cool, it's just garnets, right? And you'd be like, oh, that's neat. Maybe you buy it for $1. But then once you see where they came from, you're like, oh, yeah, like there's more information. Having interesting rocks and minerals is cool, so long as they have an interesting story. And I think therein lies the hiccup for many, many people. You know, we have all kinds of beautiful stuff, right? Lots of beautiful stuff. Look at that. Okay? Now, seeing that by itself only gives you a portion of the story. More information comes from the label. I'm covering up the GPS on this one because it's private property. But yeah, you know, that's what you need. So as I start to really examine my own collecting and gathering of rocks and minerals, I've learned to appreciate things. And I think the process of micro-mounting and labeling and all of that stuff has really done quite a service to me. I mean, I've learned a lot. I can appreciate the smaller things, you know, the process of gathering, identifying, mounting, preserving, cataloging, all of that, all right? Because you can't have, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy with the 155-gallon buckets. I think, you know, even when we go to places with abundant material, like the Burnt Cabin Creek Road cut this past week, I try to gather only what I need and not more than what I need. And, you know, things like the micro mounts, thumbnails, being able to have these things cataloged is nice. I don't want... Am I much... What makes me... What would you rather have? Would you rather have, okay, these two thumbnails, they're mounted, identified, and beautiful, or 5 buckets of it? Let me know down in the comments below. Would you rather have 5 buckets of nice pieces of calcite or a couple little pieces like this to display on your shelf? I'm of the belief that having a couple of nice pieces to display on the shelf is the better option. Now, I still have I have more to go through, and some of this will make the cut into the new display case. I think that might. I like that piece. And some straight up won't. A good example is, so this piece here is very dirty, and I've been trying to clean it, and it's not, I feel like it's kind of stained. And when you look at them side by side, I think one is clearly, come on, focus. One is clearly a more appealing to the eye. So those are the types of things that I take into consideration, and I would encourage others to maybe take it into consideration as well. This past week as well, I published a new article up on the website, and I have another one coming as well, which I think people will really like too. Stay tuned for that in the coming week as well. It's on doing your own research. I think it's a very beneficial article. I kind of posted a little bit of it on the community tab here on the YouTube channel, and a more elaborated one up on the website. You can go check that out too, currentlyrockhounding.com. It's, I think, will help a lot of people, and I certainly appreciate those who share the articles. Well, man, it has been toasty hot, and we've been going hard, going hard at the Rockhounding game. And yeah, you know, I haven't had the shop time that I would like, but I have plenty of fun stuff planned for this winter out here in the shop. You know, it's just, it gets so hot out here. No AC out in the shop. This coming week, I have I think it's going to be fun. I think you're going to like it. It's good. And we are going to be, I'll show you right down here. Check that out. Look at that. What do you think that's going to be? All right. Well, thanks for listening to me. You know, I appreciate that here on the Saturday night special, I can kind of let the metaphorical hair down. I don't have any. And kind of have a more open and candid conversation with you guys about some of these things in the rock and mineral world. And I really appreciate the feedback from people. You know, I always like to give the caveat of I might be wrong, okay? And I'm certainly open to being wrong. And, you know, when people leave comments down below, I certainly read every single one of them and respond to 90% of them. And I learn a lot. So, hey, if you disagree, please, I especially want you to leave a comment. If you think it's good to have heaps and heaps of stuff, please, I'm open to changing my mind. Well, you know, I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you, and I will catch you on the next video.